Hello guys, Cybernary here with another Thaumcraft tutorial for you guys. We have Golemancy today. Today we're going to be talking about all things Golemancy. We've got quite a bit to cover today, so let's get right into it. Before we start with Golemancy though, I wanted to discuss just a couple items that they threw in here in the Golemancy tab. Called the Hungry Chest and the Traveling Trunk. Now, everything that we're going to be doing today is going to be on the Golemancy tab. We've covered almost everything under the, in fact, I believe we've covered everything under the Artifice tab. We've covered everything under the Alchemy tab. We've covered everything under the Thaumaturgy tab with all the wands, and then of course we covered the basic information fairly early on. So, Hungry Chest and a Traveling Trunk. These are two items that you can make in a alchemical or an alchemy workbench. They don't take a lot of stuff, a lot of essence or anything to make. Air, ordo, and perdidio for a hungry chest, some planks, and a trap door. And what is a hungry chest, you may ask? Alright, well, let me show you. This is a hungry chest that I've got here. He's already active. I just put him down. That's all you need to do to activate him. But if you start, if items get close to him or land on him, then he will gobble them up. So there you can see that that's a hungry chest. Now, kind of an upgrade to a hungry chest is a traveling chest. It takes a hungry chest to make some great wood logs, a golem, a wooden golem, and a piece of iron, along with 4 types of different essence. And this is the traveling trunk that I have here, and it's labeled as mine, and I can tell it to stay put. That's what that little trick is, or it will follow me. Okay, now it's not going to pick anything up, as you can see. It's not a hungry chest, but it is a following chest. I can right click on it, I can put something on it and say, okay buddy, let's go, and it will sit there and follow me along everywhere I go. So I have a traveling trunk, basically an extra inventory here for a guy to follow me. And just getting him to stop is the trick, especially if you trying to get him to stop where you want him to stop. One more jump. Alright, stay put. So then he'll stay put there as I walk away. Alright, so those are the 2 chests that come with the Golemancy tab. Now, talking about golems. Golems require alchemy to make, so you will need at least a crucible to be able to make any of these golems. I recommend doing it with an alchemical construct, like we showed in the alchemy episode. It makes it so much easier, and that's the way I do it on my world. Golems without, oh, that's supposed to say without. Golems without animation cores won't do anything. As you can see over here, I've got several golems just standing there doing nothing. We have 8 different types of golems made up of different materials. We've got 6 different upgrades based on primal essence. We also have 8 different accessories over here that help them do their job, and then we've got 10 animation cores over here on the side to tell your golem what you want him to do as far as work goes. So let's get started real quick. We've got a lot of recipes to go over, and then I would like to show you how to use the golems with all the different animation cores and upgrades. Okay, so this right here, this is the Golemancer's Bell. You'll see I have one here on my bar. This is essential to basically programming the golems, to telling them where you want them to go and what you want them to do. It's only 4 quartz and a stick and a little bit of ordo. You left click to pick up a golem. You shift left click to break up the golem with its parts. So if you have animation cores and upgrades, you can shift left click and it will break the parts away. Right click is how you use the bell to tell the golems where you want it to go. Okay, so this is our very first golem. It's a straw golem. It's the most basic of all the golems. And again, we're in the Golemancy tab, and you'll need to unlock the hungry chest to be able to get to the straw golems. But once you do, the bell and the gatherer core also get unlocked once you unlock straw golems. So it requires a little bit of essence, or actually humus, modus, and spiritus. And if you'll notice, every single golem requires humus, modus, and spiritus. This is why I suggest you use an alchemical construct, because once you build it and you have items that produce this type of these three different types of essence, then all you got to do is change your catalyst and you can make any of these. So it's very, very good. I recommend using trapdoors for modus. Trying to remember what else I used for. I think I used zombie flesh for humus and soul sand for spiritus, but don't quote me on that. So here's some of the stats. The durability of the straw golem, of course, is very low. The strength is very low. The self-repair, they do have all of them have some kind of self-repair, is average. It can only carry one item. Its movement speed is fast, and it can only hold one upgrade. And if we come around here, you'll see that little dot on his torso. That's where the upgrades go. The animation core goes up in the chest, and until you animate them, they will always face south when you place them. It doesn't matter which way you're facing. They will always face south, as you can see. So, and then I will pick these guys back up. So there you go. Now I need to destroy them because it makes more when you do that with creative. Okay, so the next one is the wood golem. It requires great wood planks, same amount of essence. The stats on this guy are: the durability is below average, so higher than the straw. Strength is low, but not very low. Self-repair is average, same. Carries limit. It can carry up to 4 items at a time, or 4 blocks. It's above average speed, so it's a little slower than the straw golem. And it can also only hold 1 upgrade, as you can tell by the little dot on its torso. The flesh golem. Okay, well, this is a different block, right? This also requires those 3, but it requires 8 essence of those 3 instead of the 4. A flesh block is very simply, in a vanilla workbench, 9 zombie flesh, and that's how you make a flesh block. Flesh golems is a good intermediate golem. I prefer the tallow golems as an intermediate golem. It can carry 4 items. It can hold 2 upgrades. That's good. It has above average speed. Its durability, strength are low, and its self-repair is very fast. So it can heal itself really, really quickly. But if you're doing just general labor, then the durability and the strength are not as important as if you were using golems for combat or guarding, which we'll get into a little bit later. A clay golem consists of a block of clay bricks. It only has 1 upgrade, but it can carry 8 items. Its speed is average, its durability is average, its strength is average, and its self-repair is low, so it takes a while for this guy to repair itself. Now the tallow golem, which uses a tallow block, and a tallow block is made, as you would expect, by 9 pieces of magic tallow in a vanilla workbench. And its stats are average, 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 but it can carry 8. It has an average speed, and it can do 2 upgrades. So while its repair is pretty good, it can carry just as much as the clay golems. Its speed is as fast as the ones that can carry more than 1 item. The only one that's faster, well, the only 2 that are faster, actually all 3 of these guys are faster, above average. So that's why I use the tallow golem, because it can carry up to 8 items. It does have speed upgrades. Sometimes I use the flesh golem just because of the very fast repair, but I highly suggest you stick with the 2 upgrade slots. Now you get into these 3 over here, and you're getting into your more heavy-duty durability and strength golems. We've got a stone golem. It only has 1 upgrade. It's slow, but it can carry 16 items. The iron golem, our old favorite, 1 upgrade, can carry 32 items, very slow. Of course, these guys have above average and high strength and durability. Their repair speed is slow, though. So, and then the last one, of course, is the thaumium golem. Below average durability. That's interesting. Strength is low. Self-repair is average. Carry limit's 4. Upgrade is 1. But its speed is above average. So this is probably one of the stronger... Well, not really. It's one of the stronger ones, well, one of the metal ones. And you can make a thaumium block by combining 9 pieces of thaumium together. So those are the different types of golems that you can make. And depending on the job that you want them to do is going to depend on which one you need to make. If you have something that's just between point A and point B that's only 5 blocks away, then speed may not be an issue. Speed may be an issue. If you want something that's a long distance and they might run into mobs in between, then you may want something like an iron golem that can carry 32 items so that he can get more items in one trip. Okay? There is one more type of golem that you can make, and it takes basically any of those golems and upgrades them into advanced golems. And this will require an infusion table. Once you do this, they have little brains on top of their heads, and you will need to do this in the infusion table, like I said before. What you get is that you get one more upgrade, whatever number of upgrades you start with. So if you start with like a tallow golem, you'll have 2. Then you do this, they move. He'll get a 3rd one. They'll move faster and they'll see further, which are the 2 primary attributes that you'll be wanting, because golems can't see very far to begin with, and obviously movement speed is an important thing. So that's how you upgrade. That's how you get advanced golems. That's different than an upgrade. Let's talk about upgrades real quick. You saw the little dots that are on their torso. Well, these are the upgrades that you can put in them, and they're all pretty much the same as far as recipe goes. They take 10 essence of the primal essence that you're building, and of course there are 6 of them on the 6 essences. The first one is the air upgrade. This increases the movement speed of the golem. 8 gold nuggets, an air shard, and 10 air. The earth upgrade increases the strength so it can carry more items, as well as how much physical damage it can do and the speed of its harvesting. Okay, so that's also important when we get into what the different jobs that you could assign the golems. Fire upgrade increases the inventory of the golem so they can filter items better. We'll talk about that. Attack by a golem with this also sets mobs on fire. Okay, so if you add this to some of your guard or combat golems, then they'll set the mobs on fire. The water one, which is the one that I use quite a bit, increases the visual range of the golem, and it increases the range and accuracy of ranged attacks. So if you give them the blow dart, which is basically a bow and arrow, then they'll be able to shoot farther. Order is also another one that I use quite a bit. Allows golems to be more controlled with the bow. It also gives golems with certain cores added abilities, or additional abilities. So one of the ones that we're talking about here with the Ordo is the Harvest Core. Harvest Core, and we'll get into that in a second, but in a nutshell, it just has the golem harvest plants and or food from a farm. Now, if you put an order upgrade onto that golem, not only will he harvest it, but he'll also replant that crop as well as soon as he harvests it. So that's a good upgrade to have for a harvest core. The entropy upgrade will basically give the golem thorns, and they also makes it so that they don't. They've got a little bit of leeway when they're filtering items. So if you've got a golem that's picking up records, then maybe you want to put this on so that it picks up all the records and not just a specific one type of record. Or maybe you've got him picking up armor or swords or equipment or something, and you want it to ignore durability because the durability on an item reflects its item number, and so the golem may be a little bit more strict without one of these cores when it's talking about picking up certain items. So those are the 6 upgrades, and of course you can only have 1 or 2 of them, unless you have one of the advanced golems, and they would allow you to have 3. All right. Real quickly, let's go over the accessories that you can add to a golem. These are in addition to the upgrades, and you can have all of these on at once if you want, or you can only have 1 or 2 of them. I do not believe there is a limit to these. So the top hat adds health to the golem, and this is just a very simple 4 pieces of wool and a piece of gold and some wand. These are all alchemical workbench recipes. The spectacles gives golems a larger sight radius, which you'll see several of my golems have spectacles. The bow tie increases the golem's movement rate. Again, that's wool and string. The fez gives golems faster health regeneration. And see, I'm not sure, you know what, let's test that out real quick. I'm not sure if you can do a fez and a top hat, so you may have to choose. But there is no limit to the number of upgrades that you can do. Let's see, we need to face south so we can see this guy. We're going to give him a bow tie, some glasses, a top hat. Nope, I can't give him the fez. So I'd have to do another guy to give him the fez. So there you go. Pick those 2 up. That's the fez. Right over here we have our dart launcher. Sorry, not a blow dart launcher. Gives golems a ranged attack. Can only be attached to combat golems, and we'll talk about combat golems in a little bit. They have to have a specific core on them. Again, just a dispenser, some iron, and some arrows. A visor gives added protection to golems, and it makes mobs that they attack drop XP, which is good. This is iron plating. Obviously gives a lot more armor to the golems, but it does slow them down beyond what their speed rating is. And then, of course, the mace arm. The mace arm basically replaces the arm that they have with this big mace, and it increases their physical attack damage, or their melee attack damage. So those are the different accessories that you can add to a golem. Alright, so let's get into the animation course, because that's going to be the bulk of what we cover the rest of this episode. Of course, accessories and upgrades you can put on your golems to make them more efficient at the task that you're giving them. A core consists of 4 pieces of clay and night ore in an alchemy workbench, and you will need one of these cores because the cores are the catalysts for creating each of these animation cores. The first animation core is called Gatherer, and what Gatherer does is, and we'll open up the book and look at each of these. The Gatherer is the very first core that you make, and it's very, very easy. It's very, very simple core to use. Any golem that has this will look for dropped items within 16 blocks and place them inside an attached inventory. If they're not assigned to attached inventory, then they'll just simply hold them. If you right click on the golem, you will be able to specify items that they should pick up. All others will be ignored. So this is one of the things we're talking about with a golem. We can grab one of these cores, and we're not assigning him to anything, so we're just going to give him the core itself, right click on it, and now he's looking around for items to pick up. I can right click on him and I can tell him what I want to pick up, what I want him to pick up. Only pick up diamond chests. And then using the bell, I can right click on him and tell him to go to other places to look for these things or look for different inventories. So that's kind of saying go over here and look, but he's already seen that, so he knows that there's nothing there. So, and again, we were talking about being able to break them apart. You can shift and left click, and then you get your core and your empty golem back. So, and I can show you, I've got several demos set up of how these different cores work. So the next core is going to be the empty core, and I don't need to look this one up. I basically, very simply, an empty core means when you right click on a golem onto an inventory and then point it to another inventory with the bell, it's going to basically take items out of one inventory and put it somewhere else. So it's basically cleaning out an inventory. The other one is to fill. Fill is the opposite. You can tell it, I want you to grab items from one inventory and fill up this chest with another one. And I've got an example of that over here as well. I'm just going to go through the recipes real quick, and then we'll talk about their uses. So this is the empty recipe, Lucrum and Vactos. The fill recipe is Fames and Vactos. The decanting, this is one that you may have seen over here that I've got, is basically a empty or fill core, but it has to do with water or liquids. This is your liquid transport golem. Okay, over here we've got our guard golem, and with an order upgrade you can specify exactly what mobs to attack. So this is your combat core. Here's your harvest core. Okay, and it requires Meso and Meadow. You can use an order upgrade on the golem to have it replant. Your butcher core, it does require your harvest and guard cores to be unlocked, so you'll be able to get to the butcher core, as you'll see here. But it does exactly what you would think. It goes through and kills the animals, but I mean, it does restrain itself if there are only 2 of that type of animal around. And then we've got some of the more complex cores that require infusion. Now, this is the use core. Anytime you want a golem to basically right click on something, then that's the this is the use core. You'll want to add the use core, and I've got an example of that over here where I've got a golem planting trees. That's a use core. Tell him to go into a chest, pull out some saplings, and use them on specific blocks where I have dirt, and I'll have to mark on where I want him to use those. The alchemy golem, very, very powerful golem that will help keep all of your Essentia jars full. We'll go over that in a minute, but that's the recipe for that one. You need a decanting core and then some infusion to make that work. And then last but not least, the chop core. That's the harvest core that you need. Chop core is what you'll need to have a golem chop down trees. Very powerful core right there. Setting up a tree farm is probably one of the better things you can do with golems, because they will constantly plant trees, collect the items, and chop down the new trees that grow. So you'd have 3 golems for that farm. You'd have a chop golem, you'd have a gather golem, and you'd have a use golem. So those are the different cores, and real quick, let's talk about their different setups. Right here I've got myself a gather golem. That's what he is doing, and I've got a butcher golem. Now the butcher golem is only killing grown-up animals, and I can't right click on him. He's just looking in this area. He's only killing grown-up animals when there's more than 2 adults. It can be pigs, it can be cows, it can be chickens. This guy is the gatherer. He's assigned to this chest, and as you can see, he's going around picking up stuff that is dropped. Where did you get the carrots? Okay, so when you place him, you need to right click on him on a chest. Any golem that uses an inventory, oh, sorry buddy, I broke him up. Okay, so any golem that uses an inventory needs to be clicked on a chest. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put him down. I'm going to give him his gather core again, and then I'm going to pick him up complete, and then I'm going to shift and right click on him on this chest. Okay, that should have worked. Shift, right click, maybe just, okay, so just right click, I'm sorry. So once I just right clicked on that chest, now he knows that's his assigned chest. Anything he picks up, he's going to put in that chest. I don't know how you got out, little dude, but you need to get back in there. Go on, go. Okay, fine. So to demonstrate this, and I know I'm already running high on time here, we're gonna, and that guy glitched out too. Oh, the other thing that I've got here is I've got a couple of lamps of fertility linked back through Essentia mirror back to where I've got all of my Essentia. So we're going to place a couple more pigs down, we're going to place a couple more cows down, and you'll see these guys in action. So there goes the butcher as he's killing guys. He's coming over and killing guys, and you guys are still getting out. Probably because you're getting knocked out. Get back in there. Alright, so anyway, that's kind of how they work. Obviously, Butcher doesn't need to be assigned to any kind of inventory or told any kind of pathfinding, because he's just going to go around and look for grown-up adults and kill them, as long as he's got more than 2 adults. Okay, and I gotta take care of this guy before he gets away. Kill you with your own egg. So that's kind of a setup there that you could use for a animal farm. Yeah, you have yourself some fertility lamps so that they continue to grow. And I'm going to drop this stuff down here, and my gatherer is going to pick them up and put them in. The fertility lamps make these guys breed, and then my butcher and my gatherer are going to pick that stuff up, and maybe you can have those items in that chest feed into an inventory sorting system or something. So that's those. This over here is my decanting golem, and his instructions are to keep this crucible full. And what I've got here, that's just an extra utilities barrel that can hold 256 buckets of liquid. I've got an extra utilities transfer node that pulls water out of this crucible and puts it into the water drums. So since his job is to keep this crucible full, all he's doing is he's going back and forth between this water source, this infinite water source, and it doesn't have to be this big, obviously, and filling that up, and it's basically filling up my water drum. Now you can do this with any liquid. You can do this with lava. You can do this with whatever. Just he will constantly make sure that this is full if there's water nearby, or if there's any kind of liquid nearby. So that's the decanting core. The fill core I've got over here. This guy, I've got a simple cobblestone generator set up, and it's constantly dumping cobblestone into this chest, and I want to fill up all of these chests with cobblestone. Now I could probably set something up without a golem to do this, using some hoppers or maybe even some more pipes or something, but I wanted to show basically where if you right click on him, I'm telling him that I want to pick up cobble, and he's assigned to this chest up here, saying that he needs to fill up this chest with cobblestone. Now, using the bell, I told him to come down here and look in this chest for cobble. So if I right click on him, you can see this is the chest he's assigned to. That's the chest I right clicked on him with, and then the smaller ones are the markers that I right click on once I've selected him to tell him come over here and look for cobble in this chest. So he's filling that chest using this chest to fill it with. Another example, farms. We talked about farms, right? We would need 2 different types of golems. We need a harvest golem, and we need to gatherer golem. We talked about the gatherer golem over there with the animal farm. Okay, so we're gonna place down this harvest golem, he's immediately going to go to work. He's going to start harvesting this stuff. Now I have put a order upgrade in him, so he is replanting stuff as it happens. Now I'm going to want to have a gatherer golem start picking some of this up. So I'm going to right click on that chest with him, and he's immediately going to start going and picking up all those items that this guy is farming. Now you could put a lamp of growth over this and speed this up, speed up the grow process. It's very easy to do. You could even have a bigger area. Actually, as you can see, that since I placed that guy over here, he can't see these over here. So let's give him some glasses, and now he should be able to see that item over there. We need to give the gatherer guy some glasses too, so he can see over there too. So now they both should be able to see the entire field. Well, maybe not. Let me give him some water upgrades as well, because he's not hitting that. There we go. Water upgrade did it. The glasses, and now with the water upgrade, he can see the entire field. We'll need to do the same thing to gatherer dude. Now, sometimes these guys start glitching out when you've got blocks like this around. He's trying to get to that stuff over here, but he can't. So the problem is that I don't know if they can climb out of the water. So, but that's just something that you're going to have to kind of troubleshoot and see if you can get working. Maybe you put the water underneath the soil and you spread it out. So, but that's how you set up a farm of golems. Let's see, I'll just take that and put him back down right there. And see, once I pick up that one that was glitching right there, then he's not going to have any more problems with it. And you can always do... Oh wait, that's more of the harvest, isn't it? Harvest, I don't want the harvest one. I want the gatherer one. You can always do more than one gatherer. Oh, see, I didn't assign him to a chest. And see, that won't work either, because I just marked him on that chest. I need to assign him to that chest. There we go. So now we've got two golems working on picking things up, and we've got two golems working on harvesting. So that's kind of how those work as far as the harvest golems work. And like I said, you could put growth lamps up here. You don't have to just do crops. You can do enderwort or netherwort as well. And I use a farm for netherwort using golems as well. It's a very good setup to use, because netherwort's full of precantatio, so that's a good source of magic. And we can put these back, and I don't need that gather, I don't need that use. So what we've got here, we've got three different. We've got gather, we've got use, and we've got chop. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to put down chop. Okay, and he's going to immediately go to town, cutting down these trees. Now gather, we need to assign to a chest. So we're going to right click on that, and he's going to start walking around picking up the logs that the chop guy cuts down. And why is he not making any progress? That's interesting. Alright, so normally, let's put another chop guy down. Oh, okay, I see what he's doing. Because the trees are connected, he's actually breaking. In fact, if we come up here, he's breaking multiple trees from the back forward. You see that? Because they're all connected. Now, if you want to spread these out a little bit further, you won't have that issue, but, I mean, it still seems to work. And the gatherer guy is still walking around picking stuff up. Okay, so now we need to talk about the use guy. Remember when I was saying that the use guy is a little bit more complicated because we need to tell him what we want him to do? Well, we've now got sapperlings inside that chest because our gather guy's walking around picking up these sapperlings. So we've got sapperlings in there. We've also got several spots of dirt out here that need to be replanted. We can't have the chop guy reharvest the trees because it's not really a harvest type thing. He's chopping down the wood. And you will notice that because he's chopping the wood down using the axe of the stream that's part of that core, he's chopping it down from the top down, and it also increases the speed of the leaf decay. So he's done. All right. Very quickly he chopped down that entire grove of trees, and our gatherer guy is going through picking everything up, putting stuff in the chest. And we can upgrade these guys with sight, with glasses, with maybe we want gatherer guy to be able to carry more stuff. But alright, so the use guy, I'm going to right click on him with the chest because that's where his stuff is going to be. Now if I didn't want that. Give me, and he just put him in there. Okay, so let me give that and that. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to right click on this, on the use guy, and I want to tell him what I want him to use. So that way he only picks up sapperlings out of that chest. And we want him to use these on a block. So how do we tell him what to use this on? We're going to right click on him, and then he's saying I'm assigned to that chest. Now I'm going to click on every single one of these dirt spots. And this is a left click, and he now knows he needs to go and use the sapperlings on each of these dirt squares. Now very quickly we now have 3 golems that will constantly keep this tree farm going. The use golem will make sure that we always have sapperlings planted. The gather golem will always pick up everything, apples, logs, and sapperlings. And then our chop guy will, anytime a tree grows, he will walk over and chop it down. So you have a constantly rotating cycle of a tree farm, and very quickly you will get a chest full of wood and sapperlings. You can put growth lamps up here as well to increase the speed, but to be honest, if you just build this in your area and then stick around working on other things, you will not have any more need for wood very, very quickly using the golems for a tree farm. So we'll come back to those guys in a minute to see how they're doing. Very quickly, the last thing I wanted to show you was the alchemy core. That's right here. The alchemy core is how you can set up golems to collect essence for you. Real quick, let's go over everything that we did. One of the things we didn't do is a guard core. So let me show you that real quick. I think I'm in peaceful, but say we got ourselves a guard core here. I can right click on him. He's going to protect this area. If I give him an extra core, an order core, then he will, I can specify what mobs he's gonna, well, I guess I could have pulled that out of the inventory. Movement speed, nope, not thorns. Okay, yeah, we'll give him fire, and then we're gonna go ahead and try out a couple more of these this other stuff here so you can see that, these accessories. So the mace arm, and the dart launcher. Okay, so we're gonna upgrade this guy, and then we'll spawn in some bad guys. All right, so we're gonna give you that, and we're gonna give you that, and now I can tell it, I want you to go after monsters, animals, players, or creepers. Maybe I want it to go after players. Maybe I just wanted to leave animals alone. So that's how you can, with an order upgrade, that's how you can tell it what you want it to do. So before we get into that, let's Let me set my difficulty. Let me get me a couple monster eggs. And yeah, we'll start with some creepers. Why not? Interesting. And see, he'll run away to keep him from blowing up. Well, don't lead him over to the... You're not even doing him any damage. Alright, so let's give him a mace arm. Oh no, I gave him a blow dart thing. So he's actually shooting arrows at him. Okay, so we're not going to use creepers anymore because I don't want him to keep running away. We'll use some spiders, okay? Because spiders are fairly easy. And he can take out a spider fairly fast. Of course, our golem's kind of getting a little hurt, so let's give him some armor, huh? Okay, so now he's got some armor. And we'll give him a welding visor. That's kind of cute. And he's going to take him on, and he's not getting harmed nearly as much as he was before. But maybe the dart stuff isn't working that well. So let's go ahead and give him the melee armor too. So even with the ranged attack, he can attack from pretty far away. Now, obviously, this is going to be something where you're probably going to want to give him a or make him out of an iron golem or something like that, so that he can survive a little bit better. If we were to get something else, let's see. Will he go after slimes? Slimes are considered monsters, right? Yes, he will. So maybe maybe that's a good thing for a slime farm. You know, you can get a gatherer guy together and with him and go to town. So that's kind of the combat golem and his different accessories and upgrades. Real quick, the alchemy golem, I set something up over here in our alchemy section, and I've got several different alchemical furnaces and alembics here, and I've got 4 different tallow golems that I have assigned to the furnace. So basically I've right clicked on the furnace with an alchemy core in here, and what I've done is I've grabbed several things that I know contain a whole lot of essence. Like this guy right here has 5 different essence in it, and if you put that in here, then this guy will start pulling essence out and putting it in the jars around itself that contain the same number of essence. Ender cores, as you can see, part of extra utilities, contains a lot of different items. Sound muffler, also from extra utilities, contains a ton of different essences that this guy can gather and put away. Hoppers probably have a few different things in them as well. So using the alchemy core, you can have basically a system to fill up all of your essences if you just have enough alchemical furnaces in the area that the golems are assigned to. Now, once I right clicked onto the furnace with these guys, I did have to tell them, hey, the jars are over here, and you don't have to right click on every jar. You just have to right click on a few of them, and it will know to go and look in that area. This guy right here is linked to a couple of these jars, and so there he goes. This guy's already going to town. This guy, oh no, I didn't want to do that. I could take that back. So this guy, he needs a couple more jars to look at, and so then he starts putting stuff away. It doesn't need to be labeled jars, but that will help. Just make sure you've got room for them to put stuff in. Put the essence in the jars. So that wraps up our golems. And quite frankly, it wraps up our Thaumcraft tutorials. So Choppy is too far away to do that one. We need to give him some glasses and a water upgrade. Glasses and a water upgrade. Alright, so you see the tree now? Go on, go see the tree. Alright, well, that about wraps. That's everything that that Thaumcraft has, as long as for this version. I hope the set of tutorials has helped you. See, there he goes. He's just special. I hope the set of tutorials has helped you. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you've learned some stuff about Thaumcraft. Thaumcraft is a very, very big mod, and it does bring a lot of stuff to the game. I think a lot of it's a lot of fun, and it definitely will keep you playing for a while. So, as always, likes are always appreciated. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. I will continue to do mod reviews and tutorials. I haven't decided on what my next mod's going to be. It might be Ars Magica. It might be something else. So, it might be gravestones. We'll see. Those are a couple of the other mods that we have installed on the server. I hope you guys have a great day, and I really appreciate you guys sticking with me for all 7 of these videos. We'll catch you next time. See you later. Bye.